Dumelang everybody. My name is Ntabisengwejana and I am a spiritual medium. I come to you representing a company called Tebin Consult. It has a two-tier points to it. One is the communications company and the other is communicating with the ancestors, and it's called Tebing Medium Readings. So I'm coming to you under the umbrella of Tebing Medium Readings. We've been having a Facebook page for quite a while now, and it has been doing so well, and thanks to many people from Swaziland, from Zimbabwe, from Botswana, across all 9 provinces of South Africa. We've been enjoying the great of support there. Thank you for trusting us with your spiritual well-being. Now we are venturing onto this platform, YouTube, because many people have asked me to come through to explain certain things about what a medium is, what a medium does, and this is the topic for today. What is a medium? If I were to simplify it in this way, in communications, we would then say your TV is a medium, your laptop is a medium. A medium is any channel or anything that takes one part of the messaging and delivers it to the other. So that is what a medium is. So I normally explain myself as a broadband of the spirit. So I will then go into a spiritual realm and get certain images about your future, your past, and your present situation, and I will then bring those kind of messages to you. So by implication, I am a messenger of the spirit, and that is what a medium is. Now, there is suddenly a whole confusion in an African aspect to say why a medium. What does a medium do in an African umbrella? Mediums have always been there. The only new thing is this term medium, because it's coming from a very westernized point. You have the Teresas of the world, and you have in South Africa other accomplished mediums, but then there have always been mediums that are white, and suddenly now there is a mushrooming of mediums of color. But we've been having people called Sidube. We've been having people called Ngaka ya ho tlhatlhoba ka lefatla. We've been having called Ngaka Chupye, and there's somebody that does not have to go for training for what they do. So these people have been there. This practice has been there, but it has not been being bracketed under the term a medium. So now, what a medium would ideally do, you would get into a spiritual realm and you will communicate universally. I normally say to people, I have a universal gift of just knowing. Even before my gift was associated with ancestors, that is a whole journey that I will one day share with you. But I've always had a great sense of knowing. I would look at you and I would suddenly know a certain great detail about your life, and it will bug me. I would feel like I cannot see Piri. I must just tell you what is it that I'm feeling. And sometimes when I was young, I would walk into a taxi and somebody would start telling me their problems, like, why is this big mama torturing me about this information? And then I would then say to her, Mama, I will pray about it. I will pray with you on it. And the next time when I see her, obviously I would go and pray about it. The next time when I see her, Mama, how did you solve that issue? And it went away. So there's always been a certain heightened connection that I've had with the spirit, even without having to put it under a certain bracket, under a certain name. So I then say to people, I just have a universal way of knowing. There's something that sits on me and I just know. There's something that sits on me and I just open a spiritual file and I tell you a great detail about your life that I ideally would not have known if I were just a normal version of Ntabi just roaming around. So people would make an appointment with me, and after making an appointment, get worried. What do you do? Do you use bones? Do you speak to ancestors? Are you a psychic medium? Do you see dead people? Do you walk with dead people? And I get to a point where I'm like, I don't even know myself. I'm being very confused. Tell me your explanation. I will tell you that I don't do this, I do that, I don't do. But what then happens is that in the spirit, there are only two passages. There's only the good and the bad. So when you look at the overall intention of the spirit, I normally say that it is only the titles that differentiate us. But it is either in the spirit you are doing a good thing or you're doing a bad thing. It's either you're a good Muruti or a bad Muruti. You're a good Mutandazeli, you're a bad Mutandazeli. You are a good Sangoma, you are a bad Sangoma. You are a good medium, you're a bad medium. That's it. Any other thing as to how you choose to express your gift, or how your ancestors, or how God, or how the Spirit has chosen for you to express your gift. Ke gona mo the difference lies, because it's either you're a sangoma or umuruti. That is an expression of your gift. That is how you cushion it. But it's either a gift of light or it's a gift of darkness. And that's it. The same thing applies to being a medium. It's either you have it or you don't have it. So I would then fall under a bracket ya batho ba ba tlhatlhobang ka lefatla, just to put it in a very blunt Sesotho way. I meet up with you and I suddenly sense things about you. I suddenly see people standing in front of you and I just go into it and I explain what I see. So I work with my senses. I would be given certain pictures. I look at you and it's sort of like I just zone out. I just zone out from being an Tabi that is sitting behind a blue thing. I zone out and I go into a different plane, into a different world where I'm just able to travel with you or travel on your behalf, or being made to travel with people that travel with you, but you don't know that they're traveling with you. So there's a whole lot of traveling in the spirit. So I would then get particular images. I would be told voices. I would be told sometimes the people that I connect with don't even speak. I have to do a telepathic thing. So telepathy is a very big component of what a medium does. Because sometimes you find, Hore, this ancestor, I need information from them, and they look at me like, yo, this young girl wanting me to speak. Why? And then they just keep quiet. And I have to navigate with what they're thinking, and it requires a very deep connection with what they're saying, and I just deliver what they're thinking until I gain their trust or they can speak to me. Sometimes you find the ancestor that is coming through for me to speak to, you find they're deaf and they don't have the ability to speak. And that's why telepathy is important. So a medium would connect telepathically. A medium would taste certain things. A medium would feel certain things on your body. But not to say that any other person will not feel the very same things. Not to say any other spiritual operator or a spiritual colleague would not connect in this way. I am just saying for a part of lefatla, these other little brackets that would allow me to bring you your news, that will allow me to bring you a certain picture. Wabon. Now, people would then ask me, don't you read bones? I can. There are certain bones that I've been known to be able to read. You can throw your bones here and I'll be able to read them. Some of them I can't read them, but I don't have bones of my own, you see. Can you not read something from a class? The people who do tea leaf reading, I can look at this thing. after you've drunk from it, and I can look at it and I can get a picture and I can tell you. Can I do a palm reading? Yes, I'm able to do it. Look at your palm and be able to do it. Sometimes some people would then hand me their money after a consultation, hand me their money, and I'll be able to read the energy coming out or coming off the notes that you've given me or whatever it is that you give me. So the way that I normally just try to make sense of it is that the spirit is where I am. The spirit has allowed me to have a gift that can go everywhere else, navigate the spirit regardless of the tools. So your ditaula would be the tools, your palm would be a tool, your clairvoyant, your crystal ball will be a tool. So I don't have any other tool that I use. I just look at you and I'm transported. So I normally connect with your surname and your name. So you would come to me, you would tell me, I would ask what are your full names or the name that you are feeling comfortable to identify yourself with, and I'll ask for surnames from both the mother side of things and the father side of things. And immediately when I get those surnames, I get a spiritual file. So that is how I then bring you the news. When people wonder what a medium really does, there is nothing in this world that works on an autopilot without the backing of the spirit. There is God that is backing my gift. There are ancestors that are backing my gift. So currently, I started this whole spiritual journey with an understanding that I get this gift from my grandfather, my paternal grandfather, who was an Inyanga, who was a Sangoma. He had his bones, and he also used to do prophecy with the Bible and water. So, and he and my grandmother were both healers. So I got this gift after my grandfather passed on, and he fetched me, went to drag me from my mother's side of things, like, come, we want this person. And I will one day share how I got to become a medium, or perhaps anytime soon I would get to share. But what I'm trying to explain to you is that I one day got to their homestead and I found two sets of bones. One belonged to my grandmother, one belonged to my grandfather, but nobody knew whose were which. So I had to look at them and get a vibration, and I can, by the grace of the ancestral vuma, the ancestral power, I can read both sets of bones. And initially, when I started doing this whole thing, trying to self-discover, I used to do a reading with my Bible and water. Those were my connection tools. I want you to get this understanding of tools. It does not mean that there is something, there is, tools are an entry into the spirit. This is what I would use to connect into the spirit. Some people would use water to connect into the spirit. So those are what tools are. Your ditaula, your every other thing, your Bible and water, those are your tools. Your snuff, that is a tool that allows for a spiritual plane, a spiritual field to open for you. So that is a tool. So now when I get into it, I can just connect without any particular tool. And that is what I wanted for you to understand. Hore, from my perspective, this is what a medium is. And this is how I am able to express my gift. Now, I was trying to explain earlier on that people want to say that my gift operates on autopilot. It does not operate on autopilot. Earlier on, before I got deviated, I was trying to explain that I actioned this gift coming from my grandfather, who is my dad's dad, and he had his bones and he had his Bible, and I never seen him in action. But when I started, I just threw back from the point that I was born with this thing, and now I'm currently finding myself here in an ancestral world, and there is nothing, there is no difference. And that is why I'm going to say, in the spirit, it's either you're doing good or bad, and choosing different tools to action what you are doing. Wabon. Now, my grandfather's name is Tebing, and this is the reason why the company or this platform is dedicated to him, because he is the manufacturer of the gift, or he is the one that has given me the baton of the gift. And I was trying to explain a little bit earlier on to say it does not operate on autopilot. Somebody needs to manage it. Otherwise, I'm gonna go rogue. I'm gonna be a real individual and go rogue. So there has to be a monitoring and evaluation committee of the gift. So it comes through him, but then obviously it's located elsewhere. And I can't communicate with your ancestors without my ancestors being present. So most people will say, you're a medium, and how come you speak to ancestors? Because somebody needs to own the gift. Otherwise, it is not a gift. I have to receive it from somebody. They have to give it to me nicely wrapped. Well, it's hardly ever nicely wrapped. They don't give it to you nicely wrapped. They fetch you kicking and screaming, blind. I can't walk, all of the other things. But it's bracketed under the term gift. So people would then say, why are you reading the Bible? E tlhakana kae le Bibele, e tlhakana kae le prayer, o tlhakana kae le metsi, and all of these things, because the gift needs to be powered elsewhere. It needs to be powered by something. For the fact that I just come here and shoot off, it does not mean anything apart from there is some behind the scenes people that are concerned with my gift. I normally call them the community within me. The community within me are in charge of the gift, and they have to be recharged in certain ways. They have to find themselves. They have to find themselves. They have to find themselves. Those who did the Bible reading, they have to find themselves, or the expression through the Bible. And like I'm saying, sometimes there is just that thing that has always said, I will know what is going on in the spirit. So, what is a medium? When we wrap it up, a medium is anybody that can walk into a spiritual realm, see images, feel things, and transmit those messages to a person that wants to connect, or to a person that should be the recipient of those messages. And it does not matter what tools you are using. Anybody can go into the spirit if they are gifted that way and come back with messages. So I was just trying to make you understand that the sangomas, they use tools. Motohorapela would use a particular tool to bring you those messages, but we are all transmitters of the messages, and we go into a different world, into a different realm, and come back and bring you those messages as we see them, raw, untainted, unpainted, uncontaminated. And thank you. I hope you fully understand what a medium is, what a medium does. This is Ntabise Ngwechana. I am a spiritual medium, and I shall see you next time. Thank you for coming through. Subscribe if you feel that your spirit agrees with this one, and I'll see you next time. I just want you to go out there, thank your ancestors, pray to your ancestors, and ask them for prosperity, because the spirit has been talking a lot about people prospering. So I'm going to leave you and say, go forth and prosper.